Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for, this is part 2 for the week of April 18th. This right here is part 1, and if you haven't watched part 1 yet, it is linked up in the description down below. But with that Every Step Counts card, you have this Diving into New Depths card. It says, there is a deeper meaning to what is happening. We literally talked about this in the first part of your reading. You might be looking at it from the surface and missing what is really going on. Take a moment to pause and breathe. We talked about it with the Bear card. It's like a card of hibernation, like, digesting things is a word that I was using in the first reading. It says, allow yourself to dive deeper into what it is you are feeling about your current situation. Again, we talked about also kind of like being stuck or feeling stuck with that lobster card. So I kind of feel like this is saying to, asking you to look into the situation on a deeper level, of course. With the Seven of Cups, you have the Nine of Pentacles. You know what this is reminding me of is kind of like, again, it's kind of funny that in your first reading, at the end of the reading, I was talking about like packaging. And I don't literally mean like packaging, but like how something is packaged. Maybe perception is a better word, with that Seven of Cups. It's kind of like sometimes I think we can choose to believe things that make us feel strong, or we can believe things that make us feel weak, right? And that's what I get here. It's like you have Nine of Pentacles. She has everything. She's the card of like independence and being truly independent, but she's also a card of gratitude, luxuries, and kind of fancy things, right? But I feel like it's kind of like more saying that your environment matters. And I feel like this is more your internal environment, like how you see yourself. And I feel like if you can change how you see yourself, you're going to be much more successful at this time with the Nine of Pentacles. So, some visualizing your life as you want it would probably be a good idea. With the High Priestess and the Star, you have the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands, she represents being bold, being assertive, really going for what you want in your life, Leo. So I do feel like some of you kind of need to practice really going for what you want. And sorry, my throat is dry because of the allergies. But anyway, I feel like you need to kind of really go for what you want. She is bold, assertive. She doesn't allow anything to get in her way. She doesn't allow anything to stop her. She really goes for what she wants. So I feel like you need to do that. And with the Hermit, you have the Strength card, you showing up here in a strong position, Leo. But so I love that, number one, when you show up as yourself in a reading. The Strength card is like a daily practice. So I feel like the way that you perceive yourself is going to be very important, like I said. And I feel like it's something that you're going to have to do every single day. It doesn't really surprise me. I mean, I do feel like some of you could be, I don't want to say that you're like battling inner demons here, Leo, but I do feel like some of you could be battling your inner voice, or, whatever you want to call it here. And you could be trying to overcome it. I do feel like it would be a good time for you to do that. With the Bear, you have the Two of Wands. Two of Wands has been coming up quite a bit in the readings, and I really feel like people need to realize, we're in this like weird, boring energy. I feel like when we get to these points where people want things to change, like I feel like in general, people want the world to be different than it is right now. And when we get to these points, I feel like people, we get to this point where it's just all the same, it just feels the same, feels like every day is the same, it feels like nothing is going to change. We have to be the ones to create the change. But the story with the Two Wands is that the guy is standing at the top of a castle. He's accomplished everything that he's wanted to accomplish. He's looking out into the world, and he just only sees what he has accomplished. He feels like there's nothing more for him to do, even though he has a whole world in his hands. It like says, there's so much more for you to experience. There's so much more that you can have. And I really feel kind of like embracing that would be very important. It is a card taking the lead. And you have the Queen of Wands, Star, Strength. I mean, these are all cards kind of a leadership. So it's like you are one of the signs that's probably meant to shine your inner light, which I talk to you about a lot. Because you get the Hermit all the time in your readings. And again, the Hermit has a star in his lantern. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Ace of Wands. I feel like you need to move towards inspiration. The Ace of Wands usually is something that is inspiring. I really believe that we're in a very interesting time. I've never had so many readings in a row that are like so collective, where it's like the energy is the same between every single sign, basically. And I'm not saying all the signs are the same, but it's like the readings have had all the same messages, kind of. And the Ace of Wands, normally there's a castle that is crumbling in the background of the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is a passionate new beginning. And, it, like I said, everybody's been getting it. So it looks to me like we could be in for a surprise or some sort of new beginning, which would be nice. With the Three of Swords, you have the Ace of Cups. I have never had so many readings in a row that have multiple aces. It's crazy to me, Leo, that like every single reading I do now, there are multiple aces, which tells me that there could be a lot of new beginnings going on, or there could be kind of like a revival, or, I think I use the word like, not a rebirth, but I kind of get that like resurrection type of energy. It could be around the time of Easter, which I don't even know what day that is. It's like the 18th, maybe. I have no clue, but one of those days. And, there could be like some sort of resurrection. It feels like a good thing to me, not a bad thing. And I'm not speaking like, about like spiritually here. I feel like this could be, in your life, it could be more of a renewal with that star card and the Ace of Cups here. And, maybe you're just kind of revisiting some old ideas and breathing new life into them. I'm a big fan of that right now. We do have the Mercury retrograde coming up as well. To me, it's perfectly acceptable during a retrograde to take an old idea and kind of make it new again. Especially if it's like for business, maybe you want to write a book, or you wanted to do something with your health or whatever. Kind of like breathing new life into those things could be very, profitable for you, not just financially, but also profitable energetically and, everything else. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the King of Wands. In your first reading, I kept saying, I keep wanting to say King of Wands. So there you go. Finally, the King of Wands shows up in your reading. Again, this could be your energy here. The King of Wands, he really nurtures something into existence. Remember what I said in the first part of your first reading, in the first row. Every step counts. King of Wands, he does things on purpose, which I've been getting this message for like weeks, that we really need the things that we're doing. It's like we can't just like, do whatever. We have to do things on purpose. And he really does things on purpose, the King of Wands. He kind of really nurtures something. He really takes care of it. He does everything he can to make sure that something is going to be successful in his life, whatever it is that he's working on. And I feel like if you can do that on anything that you're doing, you're going to be very successful. With the Hand and the Lobster, you have the Forest. It says muddled, unclear thinking. Seven of Cups, stay focused. And you have the Tulip. It says great passion. Ace of Wands. Are you kidding me? This is just saying, I'm telling you right now, this is saying, as I said in your first reading, there's something you're very passionate about. You already have something that is very successful. I feel like simplification, making things easier, would be a very good idea for you right now. It's like sometimes I think, again, when we have something that we're working on, or when we have a passion even, we like overcomplicate things. We can make things harder than they need to be. And remember what I was saying about needing to change the packaging. I think that's what needs to go on here. With the Six of Wands, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles, card of diligence. I'm pretty sure I used that word in the first reading. I'm not sure. But Eight of Pentacles is about like, working on one thing. It's card of mastery. He's normally the guy on the Eight of Pentacles. He's working on one thing. He's really working to make something happen. It's also a card of material success on the horizon. So I do feel like financially things are going to be changing for you in the future with the Eight of Pentacles, or there is going to be some sort of financial change. So that's nice, because again, I feel like everybody's been in a dip for like a while for obvious reasons, right? With the King of Swords, you have the Three of Cups. I really kind of said this in your first reading, that the King of Swords is like an expert. It could just be a friend, it could be someone that that knows more than you. And I feel like kind of having an outside perspective would be very important at this time. It's kind of weird because, again, one of the other messages that I've just been getting throughout the day, it's like when I meditate and things like that, is that that we really should be following our own path. So like the messages, I've never had a time where the messages kind of conflict with each other, right? And I'm not trying to make this confusing, but it's like I get this message that that nobody's going to be like us. This is this message that I keep getting, and kind of like intuitively, I feel like it's saying that we have our own path set out, each and every one of us, and it's like we shouldn't be comparing ourselves to other people. But it's like if we ask someone for advice, for example, that we see as successful, kind of is comparing ourselves to them. But what I would say is I do feel like advice is very helpful. It's like, do we have to take that advice? No, but we can put it into practice. I think that's a thing we need to remember with the Seven of Pentacles. It's like you can try something, and if it doesn't work, you can try something else. So I feel like advice would be helpful and, would probably lead to a lot of success. I also feel like there just could be a lot of benefits in socializing for you right now with that Three of Cups, like especially if you need energy, socializing could give you energy. I'm a Pisces. I hate going out, right? But it's like I'm one of those Pisces where it's like I don't want to go out, then I do go out and have a great time. So, I would say maybe you're in that same mode. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Four of Swords. Four Swords is a card of resting, relaxing, recovering, and you have a lot of that energy here. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, and I said this in your first reading. I would definitely watch your health. I don't think anything. I'm not trying to get you scared here, but I would just make sure you're doing the things to stay healthy at this time. I just want to pull like an outcome row. You have the Hangman, gaining a new perspective. Every single person has had the Hangman as well. It's pretty crazy, actually. Like I said, the readings have been bonkers, but Hangman is about seeing things from a different point of view, and so I feel that. Like I've been saying this whole time, I feel like gaining a new perspective would be, on anything that you're trying to make successful, whether it's love, business, money, spirituality, whatever. Then I would be gaining a new perspective here. Middle row, you have the Nine of Swords. This is the fear that things are always going to be the same, which I'm pretty sure I said earlier. Nine of Swords is like waking up, having a nightmare, waking up and being stuck in a nightmare. So I feel for some of you, it's like you kind of have that feeling that things are never going to change. Nine of Swords specifically is meant to be temporary. So I feel like you need to realize that this time is temporary. And bottom row, Two of Swords. Yeah, time to make a change. Two of Swords, normally there's a lady on the card and there's a new island behind her. And I always say on the Two of Swords that you have to go to the new island. You have to go experience what's on the other side, because, that's where all the success is going to be for you, is doing things differently, right? I always get this message for you, Leo, that if you've been doing the same thing, if you've been doing things the same way for too long, then I feel like there could be a little bit of stuck energy here. The Two of Swords, it doesn't say you have to completely change everything you're doing, but it does talk about kind of like innovation. Normally she's sitting on a kind of like a granite slab. It's meant to look very hard. And the whole point of that is that the fact that she has been sitting in one place for too long. So I feel for a lot of you, kind of like innovation, trying new ideas, following your inspirations with this star in the Ace of Wands for sure. That's definitely something that will lead to success. I think that the reason this, and this comes up for everybody as well, following your inspirations, right? Star, Ace of Wands, everybody's been getting this. I think the reason that it keeps coming up is because it's like our inspirations don't necessarily ever make sense. It's like I could feel inspired to start a hamster farm, but it's like, is that going to be success? Does that make logical sense? Probably not. So it's like, you're trying to compete with like the real world and your inspirations, but really it's like the world is changing. So it's like, you never know. It's like, maybe hamsters become very popular over the next 5 years and I become like a hamster billionaire because I'm inspired to do it, right? Is that going to happen? No, but whatever your crazy idea is, it might be so crazy that it works. So that's what I'd say here. Very interesting, Leo. I'll leave it at that. So thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.